what script have you written that we don't know about, like that would really surprise people? Like if you said I wrote a draft of, or I wrote a sequel to, or a remake of, or whatever. What's the one that would be like, wow, you did that?
Oh, well, there've been a few. I'm looking up my script file here.
You did In the Bedroom with Sissy Spacek and Tom Wilkinson.
Yeah, right. I did a rewrite In the Bedroom, right.
I wrote I wrote the Pitch Black sequel and called it Chronicles of Riddick, and then it was completely rewritten out from under me. So the final film was not mine. And the same thing happened with the Hulk. I wrote the first Hulk, but they completely rewrote it when they went into production.
Okay.
Wow.
Which was a shame. I worked on Iron Man for a year before the first Iron Man. And wasn't able to arbitrate for credit for various union reasons, which is unfortunate. I wrote a script. I wrote Foxy Brown for Halle Berry, which maybe that's a good thing that never came out. And I mean, I like my script, but I told her, I said, Halle, I'm Canadian. I'm as white can be, and I'm a little concerned about writing for a black audience or for a predominantly black cast. And she was like, you just write it the way you do it, and I'll black it up. So I was like, okay,
that's cool.
So I thought that was pretty sweet.
I have to say that you're not bitter about any of these things, about being
because he gets paid well
having
for
these
them. I wouldn't get bitter.
I know, but you get paid well, but you don't seem, if you can't gobble up every last dollar, you don't seem like, I'd rather just put out the work.
No.
Which is a very non-Hollywood attitude to have, I think, and that's very commendable. I mean, when you showed up on that set and you said, "Listen, I don't really care so much about the money as much as of course you got it. You got some money, yeah, but like, I think that's kind of interesting. I don't hear that so much."
Well, thanks. Yeah, no, I've always felt that way. I mean, and like you say, they pay me pretty well up front, but some people are about I got to scoop up every dollar, and I just don't. That's not why I do it. I figure if you're working at a fairly significant level and you're making your money, like if you're making more than you need, then in a given year, then you should be happy with that. And listen, I was angry about Iron Man when I found out that I wasn't even allowed to arbitrate for credit.
Yeah.
And these things really upset you from an artistic standpoint because you put so much of yourself into it. But it's Hollywood. If you hang on to that stuff, you'll really get bitter. You'll really get unhappy, and you see it with some people. They it just drives them into the ground. And so I try to be pretty zen about it. I think once you take it too seriously, or you're hanging your head over every last dollar, the stress will kill you.
Yeah.
So. But thank you for saying that.
Did you see Iron Man? Did you see any of these movies that you contributed to and then didn't get credit for? Because I think for me as a writer, if I contributed to Iron Man and I saw it and like my one line that I wrote I was in love with got the biggest laugh or the biggest response in the theater, I'd fucking be furious.
Yeah.
I'd go through a roof. I'd be like, no, that's mine, not the other fucking guy.
Well, it's funny that my wife won't watch them, and I said you should watch Iron Man 3. Shane did a really good job, and she's like, no, I can't. I'm still too angry, and I'm like, let it go. But I watched the first Iron Man. At least the movie was good.
Yeah, it was good.
When I write something I'm very proud of, and then they rewrite it and it's crap. That's when I'm disappointed. That's when I'm like, we put in so much work and we really had something special, and then it just sort of goes off the rails. That's disappointing. So, but it happens, and not only that, but you also pitch films, or you discuss films and stories. So, like for example, in Spider-Man 2, I said to Avi, who was running Marvel, I said, okay, well, what I would do is she's an actress. Kirsten Dunst's character, Mary Jane, is an actress. So she should have moved to New York, and then now she's working. She's successful. So that when Peter is forced to break up with her or knows he can't be with her, and he's like, I never want to, I can't even look at her face, and he's walking down the street, we should have a shot where he walks past a poster and it's her. And then he keeps walking, and then there's another one, and another one, and another one. It's like one of those playbill, these posted bills that just go on, and you pull out, and you just see her faces everywhere, and that's in the movie,
Yeah.
And so I wasn't working for the movie. Nobody ever paid me for it. But there's like little ideas like that you start to see your ideas pop up in very big movies, and again, you can let it drive you nuts, but just that idea is not enough to get credit on the film. It's not like I deserved a piece of the residuals or whatever, but you have to have sort of a bit of creative flexibility there, or it'll drive you crazy.